So I got a bit of sun and wind out here this afternoon. Just getting a bit of sun and having a beer. Finished work for this Friday. So this is just a bit of a rundown on our Cape York trip. So we got up to Cape York before obviously the borders shut and before everywhere was closed down. So we're pretty lucky there. We got a good holiday in before this all started. So yeah, that was one good thing. So I'm going to do a bit of a rundown on Cape York, what I liked, what I didn't like, rundown on the car, the camper trailer, yeah, just a bit of my personal experience on it. So yeah, first of all, I'll tell you what, I'll do a rundown on this camper trailer. So if you've seen my last video, you know I've got this lifestyle camper. I picked it up off Facebook Marketplace for an absolute steal, like so cheap, and it was absolutely immaculate. I changed the battery to lithium and that's about all I've already done, and a couple upgrades to the cover. So this camper trailer followed us absolutely everywhere. The camper trailer took the camper trailer down the old OTT, towing behind us. Would I tow the camper trailer again if I went? Yes. Would I take it down the four-wheel drive tracks? No. It was really good just to stop on the four-wheel drive tracks, wherever we were with the kids, etc., or with the people we're with. But it was absolute crap. Yeah, the setup is really easy in this camper trailer. The pack downs are hard a bit because it's so tall, and it's really hard for my partner and myself to pull things over because it's so heavy on it. But other than that, I couldn't really enjoy myself as much as the other guys I was with, because I was towing the camper trailer. I couldn't really, it was just a little bit less fun towing the camper trailer, my personal opinion. Got up everything fine. The only exit I winched out of was Gunshot. It was late in the day, the tracks were chopped up, it was muddy as and wet, so I would have made it, but you see here, see this big square toolbox corners were actually digging into the dirt. We've got the video, I'll tell you about the video soon, but yeah, that toolbox there was actually digging in the dirt coming out of Gunshot exit, so I couldn't make it up, had to winch out because it was acting like a big anchor on me. Well, yeah, so the camper trailer held up well. So there's not one thing wrong with this camper trailer apart from the zipper, which is a zipper thanks to the dust and stuff. The zipper broke on us and we just had to strap it down the best we could, but it's still got the velcro. Still got the velcro all the way around. So we kept a bit of dust out with the zipper being broken. Dust. Back of it did get dusty here because I couldn't quite get it down properly all the way here. As you see, the red dust is still on it. I'm about to wash it. I thought it'd be a cooler video with the red dust still on it, at least to know I took it. But yeah, a little bit of movement in the bearings. Did do a lot of Ks, some rough terrain. No cracks in the chassis, nothing wrong with the suspension. It's only got leaf suspension. So that just goes to show you tyre pressures, taking it easy, not rushing around like an idiot. Yeah, so happy days. Very impressed with this camper. There's a lot of trailers up there on the side of the road being picked up or on the back of tow trucks, and yeah, we never had no dramas. These barrels you'll see in the front, picked these up for Bunnings. They're fairly cheap. They're for our washing, so you put your washing in there, just some fresh water out of a creek or wherever, with a bit of wool wash, because you don't have to rinse wool wash. You pull up somewhere, you ring me up by hand, and then you hang them up. The issue we had was we weren't actually getting nowhere till sort of late in the day, and then things weren't drying overnight, so we were having wet clothes and end up being smelly. And yeah, once we got to Cape York, up to Allow Beach, we done a heap of washing and stuff there. But next time again, I wouldn't rush as much. I'd like to pull up earlier in the day, take my time more. Battery life, so as you know, I've got the 140 amp hour lithium from Aussie Batteries. It's Atlas brand. It run fine. It's running the Moby 40 amp DC, which is for lithium as well. The King's box that I said would make it, this King's box is still going. Corrugations, water crossings, was full of water at some stages, and it's absolutely still going. So we all know King stuff is pretty crap and questionable at times, but that King's box is still running. I can't believe it is. Yeah, full of water and everything. So same as that Moby DC charger, it's waterproof, so that's been underwater, out in the sun, no dramas. So but the battery power, still about battery power. I was running a 40 litre angler, as you remember, in the front here, and a 95 litre kick ass. So the kick ass, I had a spare battery in the car. I was putting the kick ass was in the back of the car with the angle. Oh shit! The angle, as you remember, was in here. But as we knew, and someone else who commented on my last video, it does get really hot in there. I've been up North Queensland, it was just absolutely smashing the battery power. Yeah, if I was just running that angle, I think it would have been fine. Just 140 amp hour plus what, yeah, the other stuff will run it off the battery. But of course, when we we're pulling up the camp, I was trying to run both fridges off that 140 amp hour, and just the humidity and the heat up there in far off Queensland, then yeah, it was just smash my battery. And I literally couldn't get enough battery power into it because of this. The second battery I had no way of charging that because we're pulling up the camp too late, so I couldn't get the solar panel out. So but these are all things you live and learn. Things I didn't use were max tracks at all, brand new, still in the camper. Never got them off once, didn't need them. So it was, yeah, each their own, but I never used them at all. But as you've seen them patrol, it's running 35s and lifts. So yeah, so that's it for the camper trailer. Well, I'll talk about the car. So the car isn't here. If you're following my Facebook and Instagram, the car did have some dramas at the end of our trip when we got near Port Douglas. Just all of a sudden, engine light, yeah, so running fine. I was having a little bit of fluctuations in the transmission, between 1500 2000. Got to Cairns, done the right thing, put it in for a transmission service, and then I never got the car back. When they went to fire it back up, and it just wouldn't fire. It was firing, being silly. It was sending all codes everywhere, and just went AWire in the wiring. So I left the transmission place on a tow truck, and I got it sent to Off the Wall 4-wheel drive automotive in Cairns. The owner's name there, I think his name's Lockie. He was really good. They were really busy up there, but he knew I was stranded with my family in Cairns, and he offered to take a look at it and try to sort it for me ASAP. Unfortunately, it was a bit further than what we thought, and it ended up being the computer inside the transmission itself. All of a sudden, it just decided to stop. The transmission did get a bit of water in it. We don't know how that's ended, but yeah, anyway, that's been sorted. Dropping a brand new transmission and computer in it. I'm just going to replace the whole lot. Get over and done with. There's no use putting a new computer in a transmission with 150,000 Ks on it. You know, there could be foreign matter in the transmission, and you know, the computer's going to go stupid again. So just holding a transmission, we're waiting on the transmission to turn up the Cairns, and then I'll truck it back down to New South Wales. So that's in the car, but other than that, the car performs flawlessly. Fuel wise, towing this 1.7 ton camper plus car fully loaded, I was using averaging 22 litres per 100 on the 35s and lift, which all with the bar work etc, which is bloody good I reckon for a big car like that, big V8 petrol. Yeah, worst fuel I calculated was on the old teletrack towing. Over the 2 or 3 days in the old teletrack, I was using 35 litres per 100 towing. But as you know, it's slow crawling pace, soft tyres, all that sort of stuff, so that was to be expected. For the trip, I averaged So for the trip, when we're working out budget, I put down 25 litres per 100 at average, and that's the money we put aside for fuel, and we come under that, so didn't actually spend as much as what we thought on fuel. Yeah, so that's it for the big patrol. Yeah, I should have it back hopefully in about 2 weeks, I think now, by the time of this video. Once again, waiting on parts, and not much we can do about it. Just we'll wait for the transmission to turn up and replace the transmission. Like I said, I performed tirelessly until then. These things happen. Things happen on a trip. Shit happens, really. Really. What can you do about it? Luckily for us, I'll tell you, hot tip. We had NRMA premium care, put us in accommodation, paid for the hire cars from Cairns to Dubbo, 2 of them. Oh look, I'll tell you what, like the amount of money they saved us, well obviously you get $3,000 worth of claim, so we'd be $3,000 out of pocket if we didn't take NRMA out before we left. Well, if it's weight and gold, they were absolutely brilliant to deal with, can't fault them at all. So yeah, NRMA premium care. It's like, I took the premium care plus because of the trailer, which is $30 a month. Perfect. I got the trailer truck back, and I'm getting on to a really good transport company up there at Cairns, Milford Transport, I think they're based in Coro in New South Wales. Got a few depots everywhere. The price he brought this camper trailer back for was absolutely insane. Everywhere else was nearly 3 times the amount. People quoting me. Got on this one guy, I said, yeah mate, look, I'll do it for $800 plus GST, I'll get back Dubbo for you. Sweet, sign me up. So shout out to them, because once again, rang up, told him, stuck in Cairns, need his camper trailer home, and he's like, right, I'll get it back there for you. Which is brilliant. It's good when you get people like that. So all up, with the car, not bringing the car home from Cairns, we're out of pocket, what, 8.5, oh look, probably only out of pocket $1,500 at the most, if that. That's with getting this trailer home. So yeah, like I said, they covered the accommodation while we're there in Cairns, all that sort of stuff, hire cars, taxis. Yeah, it's brilliant. So I'll do a bit of a rundown on Cape York itself. Might just get out of this sun and wind actually, and the sun's smashing my eyes. I'm not sure how the wind's going with the video, but yeah, I'll sit down here. So Cape York rundown. What can I say? Excited to finally get up there. It's been a long time coming. I'll start with the things I liked. I love the waterfalls. I love being remote. I love, just the crystal clear water. Most of the people we meet are okay. Not what I expect them to be actually. Couldn't believe it. I found a lot of people standoffish in campsites and free camps and paid camps on the way there. Oh, I just didn't find that Aussie spirit, I suppose, in the campsites. Don't know whether it was me or I might have looked growly or something, I don't know, but I travelled up there for a good mate of mine. We both felt the same. Yeah, just people weren't real approachable, I found, in camping and stuff. Like, people didn't want to talk, and maybe that was just us, maybe that was just our experience, but we did come across a couple at Bramwell Station Camp before we done the other TT. So shout out to Melissa and Pete. Got yarn to them at Bramwell. We actually had no beer. Pete shouted me a couple of beers until I got some the next day. And they ended up doing the OTT with us for the first day. Really nice couple. Pete was driving a 79 series. He was worried about doing the track on his own, so they come along with me and my mate. So 3 of us in the convoy, and we had a good old time. The OTT itself was great. Palm Creek this year, I tell you what, after watching the videos, it looks easy to go down, but it is absolutely not. It's absolutely just straight down. Look, I tell you what, it's just Mosley, another gunshot now. My mate done in his Ranger. I didn't do it obviously, so I was towing the camper, and That's my family's home, so that we're sleeping in. Yeah, OTT was pretty good. As everyone's aware, a lot of rubbish. Go away, you. Get. So a lot of rubbish in the OTT, as you can imagine. Everyone knows a lot of rubbish, but yeah, obviously we took ours with us and we left the campsites better than what we found them. Yeah, so getting up to Cape York, obviously you hit the ferry, pay your fee, go over in the ferry, then you get up top and you got, a few campsites and places you can book and pay. And we stayed at Allow Beach campsite. I reckon it was the most stunning view out of everywhere up the Cape and every single one of the caravan parks there is up there. But like in personal opinion, it was the most stunning view. It was didn't have to book or anything. It's fairly cheap. But yeah, one thing I didn't like about being up there was the actual crime. A lot of it you don't hear about, and a lot of it people don't post about it. But yeah, literally like every night in the campsites, people were going through things and creeping through campsites, and so yeah, as you know, but it happens everywhere in Australia. Lock your stuff up, keep your stuff secure. I was just locking everything in the front toolbox of the camper trailer, sleeping with my keys and wallet underneath my mattress, underneath my head, and that's what you literally had to do if you couldn't lock your door. So that was at all the campsites except I think Punsan was probably the less hit, being a bit further out of the way. So if you're at Cape York in the campsites and you're hearing loud music, the loud music is a deterrent and they're creeping through your camp. So yeah, switch on to that. I did the first night I was there because I'm a bit of an investigator. Not really, but yeah, I've got onto it straight away. I knew what they were doing. Working in crime within New South Wales before, so I knew what they were up to. It was beautiful up there. Some beautiful spots. Great to go and actually get to the tip, see the sign. I flew the drone up there. There'll be some of that footage and that. Yeah, so it was a rundown for Cape York. I don't think I'd miss much. I wouldn't tow the camper trailer again, like I said before. Up the old telly track, I wouldn't. I'd swag it if I had to. It just wasn't enjoyable with the trailer on. I had to watch too much what I was doing. Trying to think if I missed anything. No, it was good. I just wish we had a little bit longer. Sort of rushed it a bit, and then we shouldn't have. Tips for the track, I would say tyre pressures. Get them tyres down. We never had enough out of our tyres. My mate got stuck in Nolan's. I never went through Nolan's. I was hooked up before I went through it, so it was okay for me. I never got any water. I was never going through Nolan's about being hooked to somebody because, like I said, it was a long way from home and I wanted to get home. What else? Yeah, so if you get stuck up there, you're screwed. Literally, what we found, the mechanics are too busy to get to your jobs, which is fair enough. They're allowed, it's busy season, so you'll be waiting a week for a mechanic to look at your car. Put some money aside for a tow truck if you need one, but even then, once you get back to Cairns, they're also too busy from all the tows coming in from Cape York. I think it cost my mate $4,000 for a tow truck from Cowan to Cairns. I think that was a bit steep, but each their own, and it is what it is. You had to get the car out of there. Yeah, we went across to Weeper, spending a couple of nights there, just cleaning up, stayed in a hotel room, and went to the pub there. Same thing, mechanics were too busy there to see any of us or see his car or anything, so yeah, we just made the trip, started making our way back to Cairns, and that's when his car broke down at Cowan, so that was the end of the road for them until Cairns, and they went and sorted themselves out and got a car and continued their holiday. After Cairns, literally we just come home. The family come home in a hire car, then I waited for an extra week because I weren't sure what was happening in the car. Never had a diagnosis then, so waited for the diagnosis car, then I just drove home to Cairns myself, another hire car. Yeah, pretty good. And it's all sad it's over. I'm sad I'm out of Queensland because went straight back into New South Wales into lockdown, so it is what it is. There's a lot of people just like us. Yeah, there's not much I can touch on really. But yeah, Cape York, done and dusted. the videos. Let me talk about the videos. So the reason I haven't done the videos yet from the track and the four-wheel drive tracks, the videos traveling up there and back, etc., is, so we had this GoPro and we swapped the memory card over in Cairns after we got back from Cape York, and we've lost the memory card. I won't say lost yet, I'll say misplaced. So we've misplaced the memory card with most of the footage on it. I did download some of the footage through my GoPro app on my phone, so I've got a little bit of stuff. Not everything we've done up there, but so fingers crossed it's in the car when we get the car back, or it pops up somewhere else. But if not, I was going to wait till we get the car back to see if it actually is not in the car before I start making the Cape York video, because yeah, the video, if that turns up after I make the video, then I'm only going to change it. So yeah, so hot tip, don't lose your memory cards. Yeah, you live and learn, I suppose, but hopefully we find it, and I'm just glad I downloaded some of the stuff. Nothing else I can think of that I want to tell you about Cape York, except make sure you get spare money for tow trucks, etc. Premium care and that only tow you 100 k's or something, so make sure you got spare money for tow trucks. That's all I can say. Tyre pressures on the corrugations, take your time. Like I said, not one issue with my trailer, not a thing. And I've done the whole corrugations, the whole OTT, not a drama. So apart from the zipper's the only thing broken on my camper trailer. Got a little dent in the side of it in the alloy, going into Cockatoo Creek where it scraped along a rock, it hit a rock, but that's about it. Yeah, so if there's anything else you want to know about Cape York, feel free to put in the comments. I'll try to get back to you to answer them. But other than that, stay tuned for the Cape York videos. I'm going to do a couple of videos on some of the gear we used as well. We've got the Julka Nomad set up with the Julka double ensuite tent, and it's absolutely brilliant. Like, it's so easy to set up and pack down, and it's brilliant. Anyway, having hot showers right at bloody Gunshot Creek, you know, like it was unreal. Obviously not in the creek, like, so the soap running into the water, but up in the hill. So yeah, that's my Cape York rundown. And like I said, any questions, any comments about Cape York, if you disagree or don't, if you agree or don't agree, happy for you to say that as well. But there's my personal opinions on the trip. I was a little bit let down with some things and amazed by others. But each their own. Anyway, happy and safe travelling, and I hope wherever you are, you're not in New South Wales and actually getting to travel around and driving a four-wheel drive still. So cheers.